what people are saying, subject teachers anyway, are saying that it's very user friendly. You don't have to be really kind of tech savvy, which I'm not myself. I'm not tech savvy. And I could kind of find my way around it fairly easily.
So I know definitely teachers have commented on how helpful it is that they can log into Athena with their fifth year student that they've just picked up this year and be able to see all the results back as far as first year. So that's definitely been a huge help, particularly in a big school where we don't know the students as well if we haven't had them for the previous academic year.
We're all boys, and there, I think there was some research done that like in the 36 subjects in the Leaving Cert, girls outperformed boys in 28 of them or something. So boys, there's this huge area we find in the middle, and that's how we find Athena so helpful to really kind of promote their academics and catch the students that are just drifting along. And again, the numbers being so big, it allows us to spot those students a lot easier. And yeah, like we're all boys schools, like we're in a real hurling area and they just think about hurling all day long, and then girls the rest of the time. So we're just trying to squeeze a bit of academics in there as well.
And so staff have found it very good. And the fact that for the subject teacher, it's just a case of them logging on. And the information is all there for them. They don't have to, they can choose to upload class test results if they want. But again, it's not something they have to do, but the main pieces of data are there for them when they log on.
It's something that's really taken off. The mentoring, it's been incredibly successful because, as I said, we have 43 staff that would use it for mentoring, and it really condenses the information. It's very, very efficient. Instead of having to, we use VSware and you'll be looking into different subjects one by one. You have it all in front of you.
The color coding is both staff find it just with a really quick glance. You can kind of see where a student is at, even though you probably already know where that student is at, but it just kind of confirms maybe what you were thinking already.
CAO points are tallied for you. There's no messing with that effectively. You just have your laptop or your tablet, sit down with the student and go through with them, and they can see what their potential is in a particular area. And sometimes, they might get a surprise depending on whether they should be doing a bit better or whatever, So it's very, very interesting to use it for that.
Yeah, I suppose we found it particularly, it's quite easy to pick up on students who are struggling, I think, who are failing exams and things like that. But kids that are doing okay, but just not achieving their potential, I think that's where it's made the most impact for us. Definitely the year heads would have felt that after meeting with them, that we'd discussed maybe students who weren't on their radar. Good students who are behaving well and who are doing okay in their exams, but Athena had flagged as kind of maybe were in need of a little bit more support. And those students, a bit like what Adrian said, like they're delighted to have the conversation with you. And I think for them to see the visuals has a massive impact also.
One student in particular that we'd have, earmarked as someone that would be very high achieving. They came up on the list as having underperformed in at least 60% of their subjects, or underachieved according to their potential. So that was a bit of a surprise. Now, underperformer for this student wouldn't be, failing exams or anything like that. It would have been a case of that they would have been expecting to get H1s, H2s, H3s as a minimum in most subjects, but they weren't achieving that. So I think it was the first time, and I just suppose using the tracker, look back through the results, and it was the first set of exams that the student had, I suppose, gone down in more than one exam. So it was a bit of a surprise. So obviously then that would set a few alarm bells ringing. And
so last April and May, I was looking at some students who actually went on to be diagnosed with additional educational needs. There was I think 3 students who were flagged kind of as a result of Athena. Now they may well have been flagged anyway, but I think this might have speeded things up for them a little bit. So when we were looking at the results and we were trying to figure out what wasn't working for them, I would have referred them on to the AEN coordinator, who then carried out some assessment, and 3 students that I know of anyway have received formal diagnosis. So I think that's really helpful, just catching those students who might just go under the radar otherwise.
But following on from that, then you introduced the super user trainings. and I have found them to be absolutely fantastic. I have attended 2 of them. One last year, the 22-23 school year above in Athlone, and one this year, 23-24, in Kilkenny, a little bit closer. So I found them to be incredibly good. I would highly recommend going to the super user training. There's a number of different elements to it. I suppose the first thing is just a recap on, I suppose, what you can use the tracker for. So there may be elements that you might have forgotten about, even though you might be using it quite regularly. And it's just nice to go through them and just to see it all laid out in front of you. And if you have any questions on different aspects of it, whether it's how to set up the mentor groups or how to set up tutor groups or anything like that, just, really good. I think it was Frank and Sarah that gave the presentations, and really, really good to answer the questions. After that, what was excellent was just, getting to talk to different people from different schools. I found that incredibly informative and really, really beneficial. And I suppose we had to swap email addresses with a few people, and different initiatives that I thought schools were trying to implement, that I thought we'd be able to use ourselves, just to get more information from those people as well. And it was excellent. And just to, I suppose, share ideas as to different things that they were implementing and how they were going and how they'd gone about it, and little things I could modify or, give my experience to them, and just to say, look, if I were doing this again, I might change X, Y, and Z, might make things easier. I found that really, really good.